How we going, fellas? So here I am, 4 weeks later, just giving a bit of a kind of a quicker update of where I'm at currently, and what the goal is. So, as stated in my previous video, which was just more of a general talking video, at that point I was 40 days into a cut. It's been about 4 weeks since then, maybe a bit less. And so now I am 66 days into my cut. And it's going well. So pretty much just to speak about where I'm at, I started off in October. I don't remember the exact date in October, but I know it was in October. I started off at 101 kgs. I'm about 6'1", 185 centimeters. I have a decent amount of muscle mass because I have trained for a while. Just since I was 21, I've pretty much had a gym membership, and I haven't really taken a break from the gym for longer than maybe the longest might have been like a month and a half in that whole. I'm 30 now, nearly 31, so that would be 10 years. And I'm not saying I was training right for a lot of those 10 years because I definitely wasn't, but I was active, and I was progressively learning more and more. And I went through stages of having programs. I did Muay Thai for a bit, for about a year, and I was mixing that in with the gym. So pretty much like I've had experience for 10 years doing fitness related things, and like some combat sport. I did a little bit of like boxing training, nothing major. I was in like some dude's garage when I was like 14. But yeah, the Muay Thai for a year was probably the more extensive part of that. But I've always loved stuff like that. I obviously love watching UFC, anything fighting related. I just find interesting. But anyway, so I've been lifting, doing fitness related things for 10 years. So I had a decent base to start with, but I just had way too much body fat. So I was 101 kilos, and that was in October. We are now in December. December, I believe today is the 4th. So about, let's say 2 months, because I'll be conservative and say a month and a half. Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? 28 days, half. Well, no, actually, I've been on the cut for 66 days. So there's my answer. But let's say 66 days ago. So yeah, about 2 months ago. 101, and I weighed myself this morning. I'm 94.2. So pretty good. Like I said, well, I don't know if I said it in my previous video, but the first few weeks of my cut, it was just really more focused on calories in, calorie out. And I was just doing my workouts consistently, but I wasn't really tracking anything. So it wasn't, I'm not going to say it was a proper cut, but I was in a deficit still. I was staying in my deficit. And I was tracking. I was tracking my food. So it's been 66 days of that, and I would say in the last 3 weeks, I've really locked in. I've actually got a meal plan, proper one now, which allows me a good amount of proteins, a good amount of carbs to fuel the training. I got it from Tom Sergi, which is a really good fitness YouTuber dude from UK. So that's TomSergi. Highly recommend you check his videos out. He's got a lot of to the point, informative stuff. I joined he's got a online, not the full coaching thing, but it's more of like a step up from his YouTube videos. And I joined that. I messaged him on Instagram with my progress pics. We kind of sent a few messages back and forth, and he gave me the link to join that, and I said, yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot. The videos have been valuable for me. They've really helped me dial in the cut more and make more progress in the last 3 weeks than I probably did in the first 4 or so weeks of the cut. So it's really been helpful. So yeah, highly recommend him. So I've watched his videos. I've got a meal plan. I'm doing pretty much like oats and berries, oats, berries, and eggs in the morning, and then it's chicken for me, broccoli, and potatoes. About 320 grams of potatoes, 150 grams of chicken, 100 grams of broccoli, and then you'll do that twice a day. And then for a pre-gym snack, he says you can do 50 grams of oats and some raisins, or an apple and a banana, some fruit. And to be honest, I don't really do that one because for me, having the oats, like I work out pretty much straight after work, so I don't really have time to even do the oats and let them digest. So sometimes I'll just have a piece of fruit, have some pineapple or something like that before I do my workout. And then for the last meal, it's Greek yogurt, berries, and dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is expensive as fuck here. So I was doing it for a bit, but to be honest, I haven't really been having it. I've just been substituting with more fruit, which I know is not going to hit my fat intake, which the fats are good for your hormone levels and to keep things in check there. But fats are the first thing you pull from when you go into if you want to go from 15 to 10 and you really need to push, and you need to take foods out of your diet because you can push your cardio and everything up, and that's what's recommended once you get down to those leaner levels. But eventually, if it gets to the point where you're doing like 60 minutes a day, you don't want to go higher than that because you'll fatigue. So in that case, they recommend pulling from fats. So I know it's very anecdotal here, and it's not related necessarily. It doesn't make much sense, but because of that, I just haven't been having the dark chocolate. I've just been having the yogurt and the berries. So I'm probably actually a little bit below the calorie thing, which I know isn't smart, but in my head for now, I think he did actually recommend almonds. So I think I'm gonna buy those or Brazil nuts, and I'll mix those in as well. But to fill the extra calories, I've just been having a bit more fruit. I've been having some more pineapple slices and a mango every now and again, just stuff like that. But it's all whole foods. I have not for these last 4 weeks. Aside from on a Friday, I let myself have one off-plan meal, but even that day, I still stay in my calorie deficit. I don't go over it. And I usually train on that day, or I'll get some extra steps in. So pretty much in terms of my steps and what I'm doing in terms of activity level. So that's my diet. Activity level at the moment, my activity level is generally pretty high. I've never had a problem with that. My job's active. I'm a cleaner, like store cleaner. And trolley collection. I'm on my feet all day. Upstairs, downstairs, vacuuming, mopping, like constantly moving, scraping shit off the floor, scrubbing floors, all that stuff. So I'm getting an average of 25 to 30,000 steps a day when I work, which is 5 days a week. And then so I'm doing that. I'm training 4 days a week, upper lower split, upper lower 2 days in a row, a break, and then upper lower on the next 2 days. So I'm doing that split. That split's going pretty well. I'm just focusing on tracking the split. So I'm tracking my workouts, and I'm pretty much just trying to at least increase the reps that I'm doing until it gets to the point where I can increase the weight. So, if I'm keeping my rep range for heavier exercises or more compound exercises, more involving exercises like your incline, your flat bench, things like that. I'm not trying to start off at a really high rep range. I'm keeping those between 6 and 10. And then when it gets to something like an accessory exercise, then I'm doing 8 to 12. If it's like particularly one I can burn out on it, maybe calf raises, I might do 10 to 15. But that's my lower limit. So 10 would be my lower limit in that example. 15 would be the max. So once I hit 15 on a weight, then I'll move the weight up and then try to get that weight for 10 reps. And same works with the 6 to 10 rep range. If I do 30 kilos, 10 reps, 3 sets, I go, okay, 32 kilos is done. I'll go 34 kilos, but I'll start at 6, 6, 6, 6. That's the way I'm doing it. I know there's maybe better ways to do it, but really at the end of the day, the main thing is that you're training with intensity, which I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I do that pretty well. I do not mess around when I'm in the gym. I literally go there. I don't go on my phone. I don't. The only time I have my phone out is to look at like my heavy tracker. Like as soon as I finish a set, I'll put the weight in. I'll do the number I did, hit the tick mark, and then just look at the. It's a bit psychotic actually, but I'll just sit there and just look at the rest timer while I wait for the next set, and then I'll do the next set. I'm in and out of the gym in about an hour, a bit less than, because I do my workout. That'll usually take 40 minutes, and then I go and do 20 minutes of cardio, and that's every day. So what Tom recommends, or what's recommended on the program I'm on, 10,000 steps a day, training 4 to 5 days a week, and that you're also getting in 20 minutes of cardio. So 10,000 steps, 20 minutes of cardio, and that you're training 4 to 5 days on a split, and you're training with intensity, and then obviously the diet as well. So pretty much the estimate I got from him, which I wasn't expecting, but that's a good thing, keeps me in check, was that I was at 25% body fat. That was probably about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half. And to get down to, well, let's say 10%, it would take about, I believe his estimate was 20 weeks. So 20 weeks, what's that? It's about 5 months. And we're currently, obviously, this was late November, December, January, February, March, April. So April 2026 is the goal. Now, I've put May 2026 as the goal, but I just like setting goals that are further away so that when I get it done quicker, I feel better. Like I know it's not going to take that long, especially on the path I'm on. I feel actually like pretty confident that I'm going to be able to stick to it this time, because the meal plan is honestly, like it's boring, but honestly I don't mind potatoes and chicken and broccoli. I just, I put a little very low calorie hot sauce on there. Tastes pretty good. I use herbs and spices. I don't just fucking throw the chicken in there with no flavoring. I'm not psychotic. Except when I'm in the gym looking at my rest timer. But yeah, I don't do that. So I don't just put bland stuff in there. I season it well. You gotta have seasonings. You have to. If you grew up in any type of European household, like my grandparents were Dutch, and you would always have some kind of butter or seasoning or sambal. You'd have something to have with your meal. Europeans know how to spice stuff up. Trust me. The Dutch know. They make some good food. So yeah, I think that I can stick to it. I'm feeling leaner. Let's get a little muscle check. But I'm feeling leaner. Like it's definitely working. But things like this, they take time. And a lot of the time you don't want to, delayed gratification is a big thing on this journey. And I'm learning that more and more. But I think it's worth it. You can spend all your days and go, for the next 6 months, why would I worry about having such a boring diet and not enjoying food? It's like, what are you really enjoying with food? You're eating your pizza and shit like that. Yeah, you feel good when you're eating it. You feel like shit afterwards. And I know, because I would eat a lot. Dude, I could kill a pizza in one sitting and more, and probably 6 chicken wings and a bag of chips. I could do that easy. But that's not good. You feel like shit afterwards, and you don't realize how much you feel like shit until you actually stick to a cleaner diet, and then you realize, oh man, everything just functions better when you're eating clean. whole foods, fruit, your veggies, your protein. You know, you're having your almond milk or your water, or maybe having full milk, whatever, cheese. Like, those are things that I think are fine. And there's plenty of delicious things that involve those ingredients. I mean, like salami in itself, I know that's a cured meat, but it's still like maybe that's not a great example, but it's a better example than fucking Red Rock Deli bloody sour cream and chili chips, which is what I used to love. Ooh. But like, you don't realize how many people are just eating that shit until you look around, and then you go, man, like, people aren't even thinking about it. For me, I always thought about it. Like, even when I was doing it, even when I was binging, I was like, I know I can do better, and I know that I'm just using this to like hide from shit and make me feel better about things that aren't going my way, instead of actually transforming myself into someone that can deal with those things in a better way, in a more productive way, and actually conquer what he fears. So I think that's a real big reason why, man, I'm 30, like nearly 31. I just want to be in good shape, and I just want to look healthy and like stay fit. And like I said, I always had the muscle, but I was always carrying around that body fat. So like, always in a tank top, I look like I was leaner because I have naturally wider shoulders, but I wasn't. Like, there was a real big gut here, and I mean, there still is a gut. It's less now, but I'm not going to be satisfied until I see my abs, until I'm down to 10% body fat. And that's the ultimate goal. Obviously, when I get to 15%, it's going to be harder to say, oh, that's fine. But I know that I can push through that 10% if I want to, and I do want to. So that's the goal, but it's going well. This video turned out a little longer than I intended it to, but it's later. I'm tired, and yeah, I just wanted to get my thoughts out before I go to sleep. I got a big drive ahead of me tomorrow. I'm going up to see a mate, so yeah, be a good drive, but a long drive, but a good drive. Drives are good to just think, clear your head, focus on what you want for your future, and an aesthetic body and more capability and confidence and a different character is what I want out of this. It's not just about the abs. So stay tuned. I'm going to do another update maybe in another week, maybe sooner, but rest assured, you'll see me again soon. Peace.